Please welcome Amplitude's product manager, Kate Adams.
Hello, Amplify. Welcome back for day 2. Who had fun at the party last night? Yeah, I know some of you in the back definitely did. Thanks for coming back today. I know it might have been a little bit harder to get up this morning, but we're so glad to see you all here. I joined Amplitude about 6 years ago, and back then, we used to host retain or die workshops. So if you would have told me that we'd be here at the Aria in Vegas today, I probably wouldn't have believed you. Yesterday morning, you heard about all of our new feature announcements. We're releasing a ton of new analytics features to make it faster for you to go from insight to action. We're giving you another way to do product experimentation. And we're launching our first ever insight-driven CDP. This morning, you'll get to see it all come to life. You'll be hearing from folks across our whole product team, including myself, as they lead some awesome demos of our new features and products. I'll be the last demo, so make sure you save some of your caffeine for the end there. And first up, we have Ibrahim here to kick us off.
Thank you, Kate. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of Amplify. Who's excited to hear about our product roadmap? Awesome. I'm definitely psyched to walk you through all the features we're going to be launching, and we have a whole team backstage that's excited to demo it for you. And this is one thing that happens in Vegas that actually won't have to stay in Vegas, because everything we're going to talk about on stage this morning will be available for you to try out in our Expo Hall demo booths right after this keynote. Now, I'm sure everybody recalls from yesterday that our product suite is a digital optimization system, and that consists of 3 key components. The first is our all-in-one digital analytics solution. Second, we have our insights-driven CDP. And finally, we have Amplitude Experiment, a product decision-making platform. We have a lot of PMs in the room, and every product team knows that the end system you have is the result of a long series of bets. So let's actually talk about Amplitude's history of making bets. As you can see, over the years, we've had many product launches and many capabilities and many features. And these today serve as our digital optimization system's foundation. We've been very intentional about what we build, who we build it for, and the why behind it. It's actually the heart of our product development process. I'm sure folks have seen this visual several times over the last couple of days. It actually speaks to how we help our customers build products. It starts by making your data organized so that you can actually generate insights off that data. And then we use those insights to actually take action around the end user experience. But this also maps to how we build products internally here at Amplitude. We use data to get a signal on how our product might evolve. We talk to customers to get insights on shifts in user behaviors. And then we build an end user workflow that's actually actionable. So let's actually walk through some examples of how we've done this recently. First, let's talk about why we built our own insights-driven CDP. We have over 50% of Amplitude's customers actually syncing data downstream to other destinations. When we talked to these customers, we learned that they were already starting to use Amplitude as a flexible CDP. They were using our advanced data management capabilities, building behavioral cohorts, and actually syncing them downstream to other destinations. But from talking to these customers, we learned that with an Amplitude CDP, we could actually simplify their tech stack and reduce costs as well. This is why we've designed and built our CDP to actually connect with more sources of data to provide richer insights and to connect with more data systems downstream so you can federate data out to all the tools where you want to take action. Let's talk about why we built campaign reporting as part of our all-in-one digital analytics solution. Marketers today represent nearly 20% of our power users, and that's a number that's been growing year over year. When we talked to marketers, we saw that they were already using product data from Amplitude to understand the effectiveness of their marketing campaigns. But we realized there was a need for them to actually understand the return of marketing spend as well in Amplitude. They wanted to understand which channels were performing and which campaigns were converting. And so we built a unified journey across product and marketing to understand the top of funnel all the way to the bottom of funnel. let's talk about why we built experiment results. We have over 1,000 customers today doing some level of experiment analysis in Amplitude. This ranges from looking at A/B test results to actually creating cohorts of people who you want to roll features out to more broadly. But as we talk to this customer base, we learned that there was a huge lift to actually integrate with their own existing feature flagging infrastructure. It's hard to rip out something that you've had in-house for a while, and we knew that would be a heavy engineering lift. So we built experiment results, a version of our experiment platform that actually plugs into your own existing feature flagging infrastructure to actually meet you where you are. Data, insights, and action. It's not only how we build products internally, but it's how we enable you, our customers and users, to build better product for your customers as well. So let's actually walk through an example. Let's talk about Amplistore. This is a fictional company that we've set up so we can do a demo. Amplistore used to only sell physical goods, but now they're a data-driven digital business. They have online ordering, meal planning, a subscription service, and social components. Their goals are to drive customer engagement and loyalty across all their digital touchpoints. And they're using Amplitude to understand the effectiveness of that. They're capturing data from a variety of sources. They're releasing product changes, running marketing campaigns, running experiments, and targeting sets of users for a more personalized experience. And they're using the full breadth of our digital optimization system. So let's actually have the Amplistore team come out and do a demo for us. We have an engineer, and a product manager, growth marketing, and a growth PM, and an analyst. Let's start it off with Patrick, our engineer.
Thanks, Ibrahim. You all look great today. I'm Patrick, Director of Product for Governance here at Amplitude, previously the co-founder and CEO of Viditerly. I'm here today to talk to you about Amplitude CDP, but more specifically, how teams manage their data. So let's go back to Amplistore, the organic food store delivery company. Now with Amplitude CDP, we can help teams on their analytics journey much earlier, drive efficiency and customer loyalty with high-quality, actionable data and the tools their teams rely on. So let's imagine I'm an engineer. I know, I should have worn shorts and sandals today, but marketing said no. I'm responsible for managing the data coming in and out of Amplitude. This includes ensuring data quality and governance. And this is a huge deal for us, as this data isn't just for product intelligence, but powers demand generation, our marketing automation campaigns, and our experimentation strategy. So let's talk about how I, the engineer, get data in and out of Amplitude CDP. Amplitude already supports over 65+ connections today that our teams rely on. And they're adding support for 30+ more in the coming quarters. If we look at the data that we collect at Amplistore, we collect data from our mobile applications, our point-of-sale data, data from our data warehouse, and data from our attribution and MarTech providers, so that our marketing teams can analyze the performance of their campaigns inside of Amplitude Analytics. And we're sending this data out to a variety of different destinations, including back out to our data warehouse, to our ad tech providers, to our CRM, so our sales team has the same information, and to our marketing automation tools like Braze and Iterable for message delivery. And configuring these integrations is super easy. I don't have to spin up engineering resources to manage complex ETL jobs or use yet another tool. And all of this is built on top of Amplitude's advanced identity resolution, so we can easily track our users across the Amplistore mobile and web applications. This gives us one unified view of all the activity that a customer has done, both online as well as offline. And when looking at this customer's profile, we can see attribution data from AppsFlyer, product usage data, as well as user traits from our data warehouse. And we can leverage this data to uncover new insights in Amplitude or build personalized experiences. So let's talk about one of my favorite topics, governance. Previously, implementing analytics was a pain in the ass and often an afterthought. Identifying and capturing reliable customer data was a cumbersome process involving spreadsheets, Jira tickets, and Slack messages, and we never quite got it right. Analytics is a garbage in, garbage out problem. Things like typos, forgotten properties, or inconsistent naming conventions would cause our teams to lose trust in the underlying data. Engineers would push updates that would break analytics in production. It was a death by 1,000 paper cuts. And this only compounded as we added more tools to our tech stack. I see some heads nodding, so I imagine you've all been there or are there currently as well. So let's see how Amplitude CDP helps make analytics a team sport here at Amplistore. Amplitude provides us tools to proactively plan our data. We can have the PMs and analysts define the spec directly in the product that they're going to be using for analysis. We have an upcoming feature that we're working on, so let me go ahead and add a new event. I can add a description and associate it with the category to improve discoverability for folks who are analyzing the data. I can define what sources I want to capture this event from. In this context, our Android, iOS, and web source. And I can go through a property library of all the properties that we've collected before, so we're not repeating ourselves and adding new properties to our data dictionary. And I can comment to get feedback from my PM, Michelle, who's going to be using this data for analysis as well. The nice thing is all of these changes inside of Amplitude CDP are versioned. And there's an approval workflow to provide feedback and make sure that you're capturing the data that actually conforms with your company's policy before merging these changes into the main branch. And from within Amplitude, I can easily now create, with one click, a Jira ticket on my team's board that includes a link back to the tracking plan with all the latest changes that we want to instrument to get analytics back up to scratch. And no engineer loves writing tracking code, speaking from experience. But if I switch to the implementation page, Amplitude generates pre-built tracking libraries that match our spec exactly. So devs like myself get autocomplete for analytics. This saves us heaps of time and helps automate the overall QA process, improving the quality of our data. And while proactive planning helps teams get data right the first time, what happens if somebody makes a mistake? I can still monitor my data for unexpected issues, things like new events, unexpected properties, or inconsistent property types coming in. And with observability built in, I can see any issues coming in that impacts the overall health or quality of my data and take action. I can easily block or transform this data to improve quality. I can comment to bring my team in to help diagnose and improve the overall health of my data. So hopefully this helps paint a picture for you around the new possibilities your teams can leverage with the Amplitude CDP. As Amplistore realized, they can pull in data from a variety of different sources, use one unified taxonomy for collection and governance, and then federate this data out to all the tools their teams rely on. And now I'll hand it over to Michelle to talk about how Amplistore leverages this data to generate unique insights. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle, and I'm a product manager on our analytics team. Our mission within analytics is to accelerate the insight to action loop, making it easier for you to generate learnings from your user data. We've helped thousands of teams elevate their digital experiences, enabling customers to improve user engagement, conversion, and retention outcomes across the board. Today, I'm excited to show how you can use Amplitude to generate key behavioral insights, as well as how to evaluate those findings in the context of your top-line business metrics. I'll then show how Amplitude can be used not just by product teams, but also by marketers to evaluate how their campaigns are impacting performance. And as Patrick previously shared, analytics is truly a team sport. Let me paint a picture for you by sharing an example where I am a product manager for Amplistore. Here's where I start my workday, our summary analytics dashboard, where we track the most important digital metrics across the business. I can quickly see things like how my users are onboarding to the product, how they're converting through our purchase funnel, some of the top customer journeys, as well as how our marketing campaigns are performing and which acquisition sources are most popular. The fact is, we at Amplistore have ambitious revenue goals this quarter. Competition in the market is fierce, with both Amazon and Target up and coming with their own digital apps. Given these overarching business goals, I want to make sure that we're hitting our product metrics. Right off the bat, I noticed that our online store conversions are performing below target. With Amplitude's Journeys feature, I can look at top paths from search for item to complete purchase. Of course, there are going to be some obvious steps like view items that correlate, but what's really interesting to me is that a significant percentage of users decide to favorite items before checking out. This tells me that favoriting could have a strong positive impact on purchase completion. It's a key insight and one that the team could focus attention on for making improvements. All right, now I know that favoriting matters for conversion. But what about for revenue outcomes? This is ultimately the KPI that matters to the business and for which the team is accountable. To give us further conviction in this insight, and before we act on anything as a team, I want to look into the impact of favoriting on key revenue metrics. Here at Amplistore, when we look at revenue, we're typically tracking two different metrics: average order value and revenue per user. In the past, tracking and analyzing revenue was challenging to say the least. But with Amplitude's brand new metrics feature, it's easy to define and measure metrics like these in a self-serve way. Previously, everyone had their own version of the metric, and there was no single source of truth. It was the wild, wild west here at Amplistore. What's more, every time I built an analysis involving revenue, I had to go ahead and rebuild that definition from scratch. Now, I can standardize and define the metrics once so that everyone can then use them to quickly and confidently build their own analyses. Back to my workflow. I'm going to go ahead and set up the average order value metric first. I open up an event segmentation chart, and I use the new setup flow to define AOV as a sum of revenue over total orders. I give it a name, officiate it so that everyone knows that it's safe to use, and there I have it, a company-wide AOV metric. So at this point, given I want to look at multiple metrics at once, I actually think it's better to use data tables for the remainder of my analysis. You might be sitting there thinking, well, I thought Amplitude already had tables. You're right, but we've recently given them a complete makeover. The breakdown tables of yesterday simply weren't meeting needs for users like myself. I had to export data frequently outside of Amplitude just to get these kinds of aggregate views. Data tables are now a first-class object and primary analysis creation tool. With the latest and greatest functionality, I can build multi-metric, multi-dimensional analyses all in a single view. It's easy to slice and dice my data and really dig in until I get to my aha moment. All right, I'm ready to build my data table. Let me start by adding the conversion metric, the one you previously saw on my summary dashboard. I can then layer in average order value and revenue per user, and if I break things down by cohort, those who favorite versus those who don't, I find that favoriting does correspond with higher conversion and revenue outcomes. Now keep in mind, without data tables, I would have had to create 3 different charts, apply cohorts multiple times, and flip back and forth between tabs trying to find that insight. Instead, I've successfully used data tables to surface that multi-metric insight, all in the span of minutes. And while initially I built this table for product, there's also value add for my marketing partners as well. They can take this foundational analysis and build upon it with capabilities for performance marketing insights. For example, I can go ahead and break down all of these key metrics by campaign to see which one drove the most lift. And with the brand new integrations that Patrick spoke to earlier, it's now simple to bring in impression, click, and ad spend data. Marketing can add ROAS, or return on ad spend, using the same tabular view to optimize their campaigns further. They can toggle the attribution model right from the table, which determines how much credit each campaign will receive for revenue. For example, with the first touch model, this can be used to see which campaigns were used to first acquire our customers. All right, so the best part of everything that I just shared is that this Amplistore PM story isn't just fiction. It's the value that our analytics products can deliver in reality. And for those of you in the audience, was there a part of the narrative that resonated? Was it the value of having standardized, reusable metrics for the very first time? What about being able to quickly compare multiple metrics in a single view using a data table? Or was it the fact that you can share analysis with cross-functional stakeholders like marketing so that they can derive their own learnings using the same analysis building blocks? In all of these cases, we want to bring you on board so that this can become your story too. Let me now bring Asavri, playing the role of growth marketer for Amplistore, on stage so that she can share our vision around how you take these product insights and start actioning for growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Hi, everyone. Great to see you all. Early in the session, Patrick spoke about the data aspects of the CDP. I'd now like to walk you through our audience management capabilities. So let's get to it. Today, I'm Amplistore's friendly neighborhood growth marketer. My job is to drive trial to paid conversion. Unfortunately, today, only about 6% of my trial users actually go on to sign up for the subscription. I have to do something about this. One of the ways I'm trying to solve this problem is by taking this cohort of trial users and syncing it to my MarTech destination, from where I can send my users welcome emails, product recommendations, even membership offers to get them to convert. Unfortunately, this isn't quite working out. Too many of my users are getting too many emails not personalized to them and really just going on to opt out. Now, how do I solve this problem? How do I change my campaign strategy so I can target the right audience at the right time to maximize conversion? Let's go back to our conversion funnel, and this time, look at the drivers for conversion. What's interesting is that when I look at my conversion drivers, most users who signed up for the subscription actually had completed one purchase and also joined the loyalty program. Now, can I use this information somehow to change my strategy? What if I targeted users who'd already done these things and send them a really heavy membership discount? Let's take a look. This time, I'll create a new cohort of users, starting with users who are already in my trial users cohort, have completed a purchase, and also joined the loyalty program. Once I have this cohort, I can use it to create a new sync, pick my marketing destination, and also the frequency at which I want to sync. Wait, what's this? It looks like Amplitude just added the ability to sync in real time. Now that's cool. That means I can target my users just in time while they're still within the context of the product and give them that little friendly nudge. That's great. Once I go ahead and sync this cohort, I can actually use it as the audience for both my email and push notification campaigns, but also my in-product personalized experiences. Really, what I'm trying to say here is audience discovery, segmentation, and activation, powered by behavioral data, is key to Amplistore's insights-driven personalization strategy. In fact, using first-party data helps me ensure that I'm creating a privacy-centric experience for my end users. To talk more about analyzing and optimizing in-product experiences, I'd like to call over Will Pong to tell you about Amplitude Experiment. Thank you.
Thanks, Asavri. OK, Amplify, you guys showed up. You partied hard, but you woke up. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. My name is Will. I lead the product team for Experiment here in Amplitude. But for the sake of the story today, I'll be playing the role of Asavri's growth PM. We're going to work together to make sure that Amplistore users can get the most out of the existing products and services that we already offer. So Asavri just let me know about this discount campaign she's running, and users who join that loyalty program are more likely to purchase a subscription, right? Right? So I think to myself, what can I do on the homepage to help boost the amount of trial users that sign up for that loyalty program? Would that feed more eligible users into Asavri's marketing campaign and get us more subscriptions overall? So you already know what I'm going to do. It's pretty obvious. I'm going to run an experiment, right? So let's target trial users. We're going to encourage them to sign up for the loyalty program by putting the benefits up front and center. And that sounds good. So there's only one problem, which is that it's super duper hard to do, right? This is what it looks like right now. I have to lean really heavily on that data team. So we're writing custom SQL queries to define those metrics, stand up tables. We manually build lists of user IDs to target trial users and have to refresh that every day. And that's going to take hours or even days of work per request. So my team can only run 1 or 2 experiments per quarter, even though we have the appetite to do a whole lot more. So that all changes with Amplitude experiment. I can create a metric myself to track those loyalty user signups and actually save it and reuse it in other places in Amplitude too. No data science required, right? I don't really do SQL myself, but with a couple dropdowns, I can go and make that happen. And once I save that, you can actually see those reusable metrics that Michelle just made earlier are available for me here too. So I can add those as secondary metrics so I can make sure my experiment isn't winning at the cost of her business goals, right? So for the last part of my plan, Asavri's cohort of trial users is going to make it easy for me to target those same users in my experiment too. Instead of trying to generate a list of those user IDs from another system and try to keep everything all synced up, I can just select the cohort that she already made, and my experiment's only going to apply to those people. It's like too easy, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right, so once that's all done, I can partner with an engineer on my team and have them put in that feature flag into the code base. And when that's done, the experiment's just going to begin. I know I can trust the data that's coming in because Amplitude automatically tracks which users have seen the experiment and what variant they were in and feeds that all back into the Amplitude graph. So let's fast forward a little bit. We've collected all of that data. Now it's time to make sense of it. But I came up as a designer. I'm not an analyst. So it's not the most natural thing for me to look at a table full of raw stats data and what is confidence intervals and p-values. Maybe some of you guys know that. It's not easy for me. But experiment's going to make it easy because we can put everything I need into one summary card. My hypothesis that I had and my goal are there. I even get an intelligent recommendation on what to do next that factors in StatSig and my metrics lift. And the best part is my data science team can also double check my work and provide guidance in trickier scenarios. So I'm not alone in this, right? They can review all of the underlying stats data and calculations that power that same summary card because Experiment generates that data and also builds helpful charts on a metric-by-metric basis. So that saves them a ton of time and energy that they can spend in helping us ramp up the next set of experiments, moving faster all the time. That won't be needed for this experiment, though. It's pretty obvious that by highlighting the benefits of the loyalty program right up front and making it simple to sign up, our team was able to improve the rate that trial users sign up for the loyalty program by a whopping 10%. Yeah, 10%. I'm glad you actually clapped. You didn't have to clap. It's totally fine. But here is what's important. I want that 10% lift to apply to all of my users, right? Now that I know that it's a good thing. So it's time for me to make a decision about it. In an experiment, I can actually capture the findings that I just talked about and ramp up to all of my users in one place. That way, anyone can come back to this experiment later and understand the choices that I made with my team. So when I'm done with that, I can show it off and look like a certified genius for coming up with this whole sign-up thing, right? And I'm bragging so much about this that Michelle, that other PM that you saw earlier, she wants to join the experimentation bandwagon with me too. But the problem is, I'm on growth, so I get all the new toys. She's on core product, so she has a feature flag system she can't rip out, or else engineering team is going to rip her out. So good luck, buddy.
Whoa, hold up.
What are you doing in my keynote?
And that's where you're wrong. Actually, my engineering team thought ahead and was able to figure out how to track everything our feature flag system is doing. That means that they can send A/B data right into experiment
Okay.
results.
Okay.
And once the data is available, the tool is dead simple to use. Anyone who knows how to create a chart in Amplitude can now use the power of reusable metrics and get advanced statistical analysis. No data science required.
All right, you can join the club. You can be part of experiments too.
Even better, I can keep the team in the loop by adding this results chart to the dashboard. And once I've done that, I've got a lot of different options to share those findings across the organization. All right, to see how this all comes to life, let's now pass the baton over to Kate Adams, who can share how collaboration across our different products can help make this happen. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kate, and I'm a PM on the collaboration team. You might remember me from emceeing about 20 minutes ago, so I hope you saved your caffeine like I told you to. So at Amplitude, collaboration is the wrapper around all of our tools that allows you to move faster by providing tools for you to work together with your team. Now I'm going to show you how you can bring your team along with you as you explore data, surface trends, and most importantly, share with the right people. So now that you've seen a lot of the updates from our newer features and products, let's go ahead and play this all back so you can see what my typical day looks like as an analyst, building together with my team, scaling data-informed decision-making at our fictional Amplistore. I might be biased, but I do think we saved the best for last here. So let's go ahead and dive in. So back to the dashboard that Michelle and Will were looking at. They went ahead and added experiment results here. And now I want to go ahead and add takeaways to our chart in the top left, so then that way we can see exactly where we're at with our conversion rate. We're at 4.36%, so we do have some work to do there, but at least my team and I all know exactly where we're at. I'm now also going to add pinned filters. The A/B test that we're running here is happening in the US, so I want to make sure that country is set to US here. I also want to add plan type is equal to premium, which is our paying user segment that we care the most about. This dashboard here is extremely helpful, and I actually want to try to reuse this for all of the different A/B tests that my team and I are running. So let me go ahead and save this as a template so that we can reuse this very easily without having to recreate all of these charts over and over again for each A/B test. I'm now going to go ahead and use this new template to recreate the dashboard for a new A/B test I'm running on our onboarding funnel. So I'm going to go ahead and replace our test parameter from purchase to onboarding for our new A/B test. I want to make sure we keep the variants as variant A and variant B. I'm next updating the city from San Francisco to New York, which is where we're running the new test. And lastly, I want to go ahead and update the text. So everywhere in the dashboard where it says purchase, I want it to now say onboarding. Then we'll just go ahead and click create new, and then we're all set to go. So now that we have our new onboarding dashboard, let me go ahead and set up a target metric on the top chart on the right. This is going to make sure that my team knows exactly what goal we're going after. So I'm going to set it to 3,500 with a target date of May 27th, which is this Friday. And voila, ready to go. I also can paste content into Slack on an ad hoc basis to make sure that my team is in the know on what different experiments we're running. So here you can see I went ahead and just pasted our onboarding funnel so that they're aware that we're running a test here now. And actually, while I'm in Slack, it looks like I just received an alert that our latest A/B test has an issue. I'm going to go ahead and ping engineering to see if they can help investigate what was going on. And actually, it looks like engineering already responded. Thanks, Ryan. It turns out that we were not requiring users to first sign in before they made the purchase, which then caused a huge spike in conversion. Luckily, Amplitude went ahead and proactively alerted us of this issue so that we could prevent a big loss in revenue in our funnel here. I want to make sure that this doesn't happen again to my team or anyone else at the company, So I want to go ahead and create a notebook to document all of this context. I personally love notebooks. I know a lot of you in the audience do as well. For those of you who are not familiar with notebooks, they are a data-driven storytelling tool that allow you to just add various charts, also with text and callouts, so you can just share stories with your team. So here I'm adding some context at the top just to share exactly what happened. I'm also going to add a callout to point out exactly where the issue was in our chart here. And lastly, I just added an extra chart just for some extra context that was relevant to this analysis. However, now that I have in this notebook, I know that my Amplistore team uses Notion. And so I want to make sure that I'm sharing this context in the tools that my team is already using. So I'm going to go ahead and paste our funnel chart into our Notion integration so that everyone can see this all nicely previewed inside of the tool that they're already regularly using each day. Stay tuned for more integrations very similar to this, and a big shout out to the Notion team for building with us. So back to my notebook. You can see it's currently saved in my personal space. You can see Kate Adams on the top left there. And so I want to make sure that the rest of my team can access this, so let me go ahead and add it to my team space. So I'm going to select Product Growth Team Space here. Then we're going to head over to that space. So Spaces is a really great way to help organize analyses and share it out with the right people on my team. It's also really helpful for when we have new users joining our company, that they can go ahead, we can send them over to Spaces to onboard so they can go ahead and start on some analyses and just build on top of them. They don't have to start completely from scratch. You can also see a sneak peek of the new foldering system that Amplitude just released, which makes it even easier for you to find your content inside of your Spaces. So as you saw today, collaboration is at the center of bringing teams together. Our teams are creating a data-driven culture by helping you all explore data, surface important insights, and more importantly, share with the right people. We're extremely excited to invest further in this area so that you can collaborate as seamlessly as possible with both your teams and stakeholders. And now I'm going to pass this over to Ibrahim to wrap us up. We got him away from the blackjack table just in time.
Thank you, Kate. What an amazing set of demos by the Amplistore team. Let's hear it for the Amplistore team. So before we wrap up for the day, I want to just recap all the interesting ways we're innovating today. Not only are we investing in our product roadmap, but we're actually adding more services and support capabilities to help all our customers succeed. First, I want to announce the official launch of Amplitude Academy. This is going to be the one-stop destination for all training and education content around Amplitude. Now everybody will have access to self-paced courses, live training, and tutorials. We're also going to be unifying our developer resources in a new developer center. This will be a unified experience for all developer docs and capabilities for you to learn around that experience. This is part of our larger growing portfolio of professional services and community content that we're adding to Amplitude. I also want to leave you with a recap of everything that we've announced today and everything that's going to be coming out over the next couple of months. As I said earlier, you'll be able to try out all these things at our Expo Hall demo booths right after this session. And with that, I'd like to invite Kate back to wrap us up and take us home.
Hello, everyone. I'm back one final time. Clearly, my marketing team thinks that I like to talk a lot, so thanks for bearing with me. So let's give it up for our awesome product team. I think we did a great job, if I do say so myself. And thank you as well to our awesome design and engineering teams who actually made all of these ideas come to life. Personally, I know that my team gave me a lot of fake smiles when I announced that I signed us up for some Amplify product announcements, because in engineering speak, that translates to very strict feature deadlines. So sorry, team, but hey, we got it done. So as product people, we know that the talking points might sound great, but until you see it and actually get to try it yourself, it doesn't fully feel real. So I'm so excited for you all to get your hands on this stuff very, very soon. So next up here, we'll have a 30-minute break, followed by a few different breakout sessions that you can choose from. However, if you don't need a break, I highly recommend that you check out our colleague Abby in the expo hall starting right after this session for her featureless roadmaps talk. And then at 11:30, we're all going to come back here for our closing keynote with Emmy award-winning comedian Hassan Minhaj. You won't want to miss it, so I'll see you all very soon.